Hey guys, now we are here in Romero Visitor Center, part of the San Luis Reservoir State Recreation Area. Let's go check it out. The San Luis Reservoir is an artificial lake on San Luis Creek in the eastern slopes of the Diablo Range in Merced County, California, United States. The area that is now San Luis Reservoir was a borderland between the northern Yukuts people and the Mutsun branch of the Ohlone tribe, whose territory extended to the coast. They lived on the land for thousands of years. In 1805, Spanish Army Lieutenant Gabriel Moraga and his troops reportedly the first non-natives to enter this area. Then came the mission system, where the Yokuts were forcibly brought into, drastically changing their lives. Indian resistance to the missions took the form of cattle raids. What is now Pacheco Pass provided raiders an escape route into the relative safety of the Central Valley. The Mexican government granted El Rancho San Luis Gonzaga a vast expanse of grasslands that included the present-day reservoir area to Juan Perez Pacheco in 1843. As you can see, this is part of the San Luis Reservoir, and it used to be part of the Pacheco land grant. After the discovery of gold in 1848, California drew an estimated 300,000 gold diggers trying to get rich quickly. Eventually, some of the miners, tired of the heavy labor and small reward, settled in this area and became farmers. While the fertile east side of the Central Valley was ideal for farming, the west side, however, was extremely dry. If you want to know more about the Pacheco State Park, check out the description below for the link. In the early years after the gold rush, agriculture on the dry side of the valley was limited to sheep and cattle grazing, and what the old-timers called sky farming. Dryland wheat farming depended entirely on the winter rainfall. When little rain fell, the entire crops were lost. In 1871, the San Joaquin and Kings River Canal Company built an irrigation canal from the Mendoto Dam to Los Baños Creek that eventually grew to 180 miles in length. By the mid-1880s, wheat had reached a harvest peak of nearly 18 million bushels annually. Irrigation also made it possible for farmers to raise dairy cows and grow alfalfa, fruit trees, and raw crops. Irrigation and flood control projects proliferated in the Central Valley in the 1900s, culminating in the State Water Project. The Bureau of Reclamation recognized the need for a large storage reservoir to provide a year-round water supply and began studies for this project in 1955. During the 50s, the state of California also began building its own water project. The state approached the federal government with an offer to design a joint-use facility. On June 30, 1960, President Eisenhower signed an act authorizing the San Luis Unit project. Plans for the dam were completed in 1961, and the groundbreaking ceremony took place on August 18, 1962. President John F. Kennedy and California Governor Pat Brown gave the signal to detonate the first explosive charges in the San Luis Dam site. Work began the same month to reroute Pacheco Pass Highway around the future reservoir basin. The primary contract for the dam itself was awarded to Morrison Knudsen, Utah Construction and Mining Company, and Brown and Root. Alfred M. Petrovsky held the role of chief engineer. Construction of the dam lasted from 1963 to early 1968. The workforce peaked at 2,304 in October 1965 and declined thereafter. In January 1968, the construction was almost completed. and the first water was delivered through the California aqueduct to begin filling the giant reservoir. The dam was officially dedicated on April 20, 1968 by Secretary of the Interior Stewart L. Udall. On March 31st the following year, the San Luis Reservoir filled for the first time. The reservoir stores runoff water from the delta for the Federal Central Valley Project and the California State Water Project. The water arrives through the California Aqueduct and the Delta Mendota Canal, pumped from the O'Neill forebay into the main reservoir during winter and spring. In 1981, during low water conditions in San Luis Reservoir, a 1,100-foot-long segment of the upstream face of the dam partially collapsed, causing 400,000 cubic yards of material to fall into the reservoir. On August 1982, the area had been stabilized with 1,400,000 cubic yards of additional fill. 2 years later, another crack appeared in the dam, but it was soon stabilized. Today, San Luis Reservoir is part of the larger San Luis Reservoir State Recreation Area of the California State Parks, and therefore offers many recreational opportunities for fishermen, boaters, and campers. Aside from those, day-use picnic areas are available at San Luis Creek, and an off-highway vehicle area is available east of the main area. There is also the Romero Visitor Center, which overlooks the reservoir. So this is the San Luis Reservoir with the dam all the way at the end. Here you can find the history of the dam and the reservoir, and an interactive display of water education, and some videos about the dam and power pumping station. They also teach you how to conserve water and how the reservoir is supporting the agricultural side of the state. Also, it's free. So we decided to walk around the reservoir and see the lake. This area is adjacent to the nearby Pacheco State Park, which you can know about with the description below for the link. As you can see, the water usually goes as high above those lines, all the way on the top of those lines. But right now it's not full, but California is not on a drought either. So that's it for our small stopover at San Luis Reservoir. Until next time, don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe. Bye. like our videos, please click thumbs up for like.
Hit the bell to subscribe!
Please comment.
And don't forget to share!